What's up? How are you? How do you say your name? Say it for me.
Sari.
Sari, nice to meet you. My wife is Siri, Siri.
I know this.
And as you can imagine, when we're making dinner reservations, I always hear her say, "Yes, Siri, like the iPhone."
Yes,
Um,
Apple is not my friend.
I'm sure you get all sorts of variations of that as well,
Yeah.
but it's Sari, you said?
Sari, yeah. Yeah, it was
Sari.
like
Okay, cool.
man. So you and I, Carson, this is actually a fun little history fact. But you and
Okay.
I share, I don't know, we go back like 20 something years.
Okay.
My first job out of high school was working for MTV at Motel California.
Wow, no kidding.
Yeah.
That's
Yeah.
where I started.
I know. I used to work all the early morning shifts with you, and I remember you so fondly because you were the nicest person to everyone.
Aw, good for
Like,
me.
yeah, good for you. Totally. You were-
Oh, that's great. That was such a weird. What were you doing?
I was like interning,
Who
assisting.
did you know to get that job?
It was like a random just met somebody and they were like, "Oh, you want to work in entertainment?" Sure. I mean, it was really wild, but it was like the Wild
Wow,
West back in the days. And then they brought me
it
on.
really was. Yeah,
Yeah, brought me on for the summer. And then I'm like, I feel like in some really wild full circle moment. Now I could be like,
that's
I
so cool.
get to
By the
hang
way,
out.
that was such a weird place. I'm from LA, so I know that
Yeah.
was an old like Sea World. As a kid, I used to go there. I think it was Sea World, something like that. And we set up that set there, but it was kind of in the middle of nowhere.
Yeah,
It was a really random place to work.
totally. It
Yeah.
was so bizarre. But
And
the
so,
cool
what did you do after that? Like, where did that?
I totally a different path. I ended
Okay.
up as a writer. I used to write for TV and then kind of
Yep.
fell into entertainment journalism. I covered music for a lot of years. And then,
Did you stay in LA?
like, yeah, I'm like right outside of LA.
Oh wow, good for
Yeah,
you.
yeah,
Wow,
yeah.
what a small world. Well, it's nice to
I
see you again.
you too. I have to say, like I said, the memories of that time were so cool. Like I have, first of all, your interview skills back then. Like I remember you from K Rock, and then watching you interview people, I was like, wow, he's really good. And then I have
I had
vivid
no idea
memories
this
of
one.
you. You would play music in between breaks, and I have these memories of you playing Blur's song too. And I was like, wow,
Oh,
he's
sure.
really good. I thought for sure you were going to drop an album at some
Oh my
point.
God, that is so funny. Wow, what a memory you have. That was crazy. I mean, I felt like you though. I felt like I worked at K Rock, but like when they're like, "Oh, we want to be an MTV," I was like, "MTV VJ? Like, what do you have to do? Like, oh, come down to Motel California for the summer and like interview No Doubt." I'm like, these are all my like Adrian Young from No Doubt. The drummer's like one of my best friends. I'm like, you're gonna pay me to like interview people on television? Are you shitting me? Of course I'll do that. So, but that was such a weird thing. I remember meeting Bill Bellamy, and I was like, I couldn't believe like I would watch Motel California in the morning, and I was like, I'm gonna go there. I'm gonna drive there today. Like I'm gonna be on. I'm gonna go do that. It was so weird. Still is actually.
It was no surprise to me though when you went on to host TRL because I was like, of course,
Yeah.
he's awesome. I mean,
Oh,
it's
that's sweet of you.
totally fitting for you.
Oh,
Um,
thank you. That's awfully nice.
yeah.
I got
Um,
lucky. Yeah.
it was I think also being a kind person, like that taught me a lot because you really were.
Oh, that's nice. That means a lot to hear. Thanks, Derek. Appreciate it.
Yeah. So one thing that I do remember vividly, your love for music, it was so evident, and
Yeah.
having a genuine conversation with people, like you could tell that you really loved it. So this is a rather large question.
Yeah,
I
it's all
want
right.
I want to hear from your perspective how you feel about the evolution of music since you started and the role the voice has played in it.
Wow, that is I'm on the therapy couch now, Sari, for that question. I don't know how to answer that in a in a concise way. But I can say the role of music on television has evolved. And my best analogy to that is that, I got into music because I loved just being around music and I didn't care about making money. I was 22 and I worked at Live 105 in San Francisco and slept on my sister's couch and made less than $25,000 a year and was as happy then as I am right here, right now. So by staying, I loved being close to music. My thought of music on television when Idol was happening as it pertains to kind of music on TV. I didn't like it. I because I'm 50, I'm of the age where that to me at the time felt like people were cheating because I my understanding of making it in music was my friends who were in bands, who are rock bands all over the country, who are working radio stations, who are, earning in their stripes. And I felt like you can't just go on a TV show and then become a big artist. That's not fair. That's like taking cuts. So I didn't love it. So when the voice opportunity came to me later, even after MTV and all of that, I was really skeptical about it because I was like, well, I don't want to be on. I don't even watch American Idol, so I don't want to do a show like Idol. And then we ended up. And the world changed, technology changed, perception of how music, the paradigm of the music business changed. YouTube, the digital democracy, the avenues to success. I mean, everything changed. And The Voice became a show that really decided to nurture how music was done on TV. And we did it with people, we did it with coaches, not judges. They were relevant music stars, not just like, kind of random people. And so I'm really proud of getting into the sort of music on television at a network level during The Voice. I think The Voice offered credibility and authenticity and legitimacy for the first time for music and how it's handled on television. And that's not to say that Idol didn't have authenticity and credibility. I mean, they were one of the biggest TV shows of all time, and there would be no Voice without American Idol. So it's not a shot at Idol, but it's just the world changed desperately. And I love the way that we handle our artists, want them to be their true authentic selves on TV behind the mic, and that we didn't never made fun of people. So music has changed a lot on television in that way, and I just like The Voice has been at the epicenter of that, to help nurture that change in a positive direction.
Yeah. I One thing that I really love about it too is you managed to make, after 25 seasons, you managed to make every season feel unique. So like this season you've got a duo as coaches and got
Yeah,
two country music artists. Do you go into each season as a producer being like, what can we do? What are we going to do now?
we didn't in the beginning because with most TV shows, it's like, all right, you're just do more of like what made you successful last time. But with The Voice, we had a built-in change because we knew our coaches had to go tour. And so we knew we were going to have to get new coaches. And so we had to make that work. And that was great. We ended up getting, now we've had like a laundry list of these A-level great people who are mentors or coaches or advisors. And then it was like, we noticed early on that like, hey, great singers are leaving, like they're getting voted off for whatever reason. Like, how do we keep singers around? And that was like, let's have a comeback or like just a reason in the format to bring somebody back. Or how about the steal? Like, what if this guy gets on this team, but really should be on this team? And we could steals and blocks and playoff pass. And so all those things we do sort of like right now, season 25, we're thinking about season 26. We've got Snoop and Michael Bublé, and we're already thinking about maybe changing one of our rounds. The knockout round has sort of bothered me for a little while now. And I'm trying to figure out what's another round idea we can do. But you have to be really careful because you don't want to mess with the show. You don't want to jump the shark. Two coaches in a chair could have been gimmicky, but like it works with Dan and Shay. We got lucky because they're so great. They're like great dudes. They're great coaches, and the chair was fun. It was different. So you have to be careful. You want to do something that we can promote and get people excited about the Voice. Oh, and it's different. It's got so and so. Oh, and they're trying this thing. Like Carson has a buzzer and he can save somebody, or just something that might be a little bit different.
Do you, when you're hosting, do you ever want to jump in and
Yes, all the time,
I
all the
could,
time. But I see you have to remember, I know too much. I know from being a producer, I know all about the people that we invite to the blind auditions. I know their backstories. I know who's like really good. So if they have a shitty audition in 90 seconds, I'm like, oh man, they just fucked that up like that. They're much better than that. But the coaches don't know anything and they're not supposed to. That's part of the show. So I can't have a button. I can't do anything because I know too much. But it does drive me crazy. Yeah.
maybe that should be the addition to the next season.
What? Me? I can't. I can't do anything.
Uh, oh wow.
I know. But yeah, we do try and tweak it a little bit without, ruining the show.
Yeah, yeah. So
Yeah.
you're watching these artists, their progression, right? In your opinion, what would you say makes an artist a superstar?
There really is that it factor that it's hard to put your finger on. Um, and it's not always our winner. It's not always somebody in our top 10. I see it, in our top 25. I sometimes I don't know how to describe it. It's obviously somebody who has an incredible voice, but it's not necessarily like a a belting Kelly Clarkson voice. Sometimes it's just a voice inside, when someone sings a song and they connect so deeply to the lyric, um, and they sell you on it. It's like you watch a 2-minute performance and it feels like it's 10 seconds. Yeah, I mean, there's just magic, and you can see it. I can see it when I know it when I see it, but it's not something I could tell an artist, "Hey, go out there and do this, cry," or you can't tell them to be special. You only know it when you see it. And I think when people are authentic, they're authentic selves, and they go out there and they just get lost in the song and they mean what they say. And it's the stuff that makes it that it factor that gives them that status. But I don't know how to describe it.
Absolutely. I think you're totally right.
Yeah.
So let's talk Emmys because
Yeah.
you have four of them.
Not bad. Not bad.
Not too, yeah, not too bad. First thing I want to know is where do you keep them?
Well, I have had them in a few places. I had them in my office for a little while, like a home office, like a man cave kind of office. I had them there. But now we have I live in New York, where basement living, or in Long Island, in the suburbs of New York, and basement living is a real thing on the East Coast. I'm from LA, where we didn't have a basement. We had an attic, but nothing was in the attic. So to say my Emmys are in my basement can sound like they're like locked away. They're not. We have like a great basement. I have a bar I built called Patterson's Pub, an Irish bar we built during COVID, so we could not go crazy. And so they're in like my basement, in our like bar, on display, and it's great. And look, the Emmys and nominations and stuff like that is cool, but it's really nice because there's like hundreds of men and women that like work so hard on our show that no one ever knows about, and that's what makes the show great. I mean, Blake made the show great, but like there's no Blake Shelton without the person that put a mic on him, or who lit him nicely, or who made him up, or who what I mean. There's so many people. It's like the offensive line of The Voice. Those. So when we get an Emmy nomination, that's why the producers get so excited and go big that night and share it, because we're really excited that there's going to be a light shined on everybody else, the crew, who it's crazy what happens on a Monday night. It's like a Grammy. So like during commercial break, you see like 100 people coming out, moving stuff, unplugging stuff, sweating on their wall. It's like this factory. Those are the people that make the show possible. And I'm out there like, hey, welcome back. And like, it's a perfect new set. You have to acknowledge those people, or Paul Merkovich and our band. Like they know like 5,000 songs. They're like the best band ever. Can't do it. We can't do. The Voice doesn't win an Emmy or get nominated. Doesn't do it. The Voice doesn't do shit without these people. Like it literally just doesn't exist. So anyway, it's fun. All this sort of talk about the show being, getting awards. It's fun because it's for them. The awards should go to them, not me.
See, the humblest guy I have ever met. Once
That's
again,
but that's not humility though, Sari. That's just true. Like that's literally true, right? I mean, it's just true. It's like you go to a restaurant, like whoever made this food, like whoever mashed these damn potatoes, whoever did this, they're the superstar. It may not be, who you think it is.
literally,
So
it takes a team.
it does. It
It
does.
really
It takes
does. Yeah.
The
Yeah.
Voice is a monster team of people to pull off what we do. They make it look easy.
Well, I am glad you are at the center of it, and so happy we got to reconnect today. This was awesome.
Yeah, Sarah, thank you. It was awesome. I'm happy for you, and
You too.
thank you for your time and for talking about us. And that's
Aw,
fantastic. What a
I
small world.
I know.
That's great memories I've got
And
of Motel California.
seriously, what a time to be alive.
Yeah, that was nuts. Well,
Yeah.
thank you. I appreciate it.
Oh, thanks, Carson. Good to see you.